Hello, and welcome to episode 7 of Metal Marmite. I'm going to say 7 because this is the 7th band we have covered. Although the Ozzy Osbourne was 2 parts.
It's actually episode 8, but yeah.
I'll keep it as episode 7. It doesn't say episode 7, 8, or whatever episode it is on any of our podcast channels.
That it does not.
So, this is episode 7.
Okay.
So, last time out we covered Motorhead.
Yes, we did, yes.
Motorhead, who were a very grimy, gritty band, rock band.
Yeah.
And now we go to covering another kind of grimy, gritty band.
Not how I would describe them, but go ahead.
Okay, well, we'll get onto that in a minute. Anyway. Before I start talking about this band that we're going to talk about today, I should brought this up on the last show, but we did mention on the Ozzy Osbourne episode that he was the first inductee into the Birmingham Walk of Stars.
Yes, we did, yes, and we had a good laugh about that.
Yeah, we did. And since then I've actually been to Birmingham.
Have you?
Yeah, I went to Birmingham in March. That's a long time ago now. To see Lamb of God.
I don't know.
Yeah, I went to Birmingham in March, which shows how much you were paying attention.
Yeah, I don't
I did look for the Ozzy Osbourne star and I couldn't find it anywhere. Unfortunately.
Maybe they removed it.
I found Jeff Lynne and I found the 1982 Aston Villa football team, but I couldn't find anything else.
Did you go to see the ball?
Yeah, of course I went to see. Everyone goes to see the ball, don't they? In
that's called Ozzy,
in
right?
It's I don't know. Is it called?
The ball's called Ozzy.
Oh, I've just called a ball. I used to live in Birmingham years ago, so it's the first time I've been back there since. So like 15 years since I left university. So yeah, it was cool to go there and explore again and see Lamb of God live, and also got to see the Black Sabbath Bridge, which wasn't there last time I went there.
Man, they really love Ozzy and Black Sabbath, don't they?
Yeah,
Bloody hell.
the Black Sabbath Bridge by the canals there.
Rename the whole place Black Sabbath.
Was pretty cool, yeah. Speaking of Black Sabbath, they started the Black Sabbath Ballet in the last couple of weeks.
Yes, they have.
So it's really happening now in Birmingham. Black Sabbath.
That's on tour now, though.
That is on tour?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you buy tickets for that if you're interested in Black Sabbath and interested in ballet.
Yeah.
Interesting combination.
I've been told it's a very interesting combination, so
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, in fact, there may be plans afoot come the future.
Ah, okay, interesting. We have discussed this before, but for the viewers, I'll just say interesting to make it
seem interesting.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So I'm going to put a little disclaimer on this episode. There's going to be a lot of anti-Christian talk and a lot of rudeness, especially in the lyric reading.
So, Austrian fans who are of a Catholic persuasion,
yeah,
you may want to skip this episode.
Yeah, possibly. I'm just saying, if you're a younger viewer, there's a lot of swearing going on in this episode and a lot of blasphemy.
Shock horror.
But, anyway, episode 7, Venom.
Venom. I got adrenaline, Venom. Gonna get my venom.
Terrible song. But thanks for doing that, because Eminem. We're going covering. No, we're not calling Eminem. So Venom first appeared in the Amazing Spider-Man 252 comic.
Stole my joke.
May of 1984, same year I was born.
Ah, you bastard!
No, we're not talking about.
Stole my joke.
Did I? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the Spider-Man villain, Venom. We're talking about the band. And now you make your joke.
No, it's too late.
Too late now. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah. So I think the first thing you think of when you hear the word Venom, well, you could guess first thing you think of would be snakes, wouldn't it?
Or spiders.
The venom of a snake or a spider. Yeah, definitely. That'd probably be that.
Nah.
That or the
Spider-Man villain.
The Spider-Man villain. If you're a nerd.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can't attack metal fans, but we can attack fucking comic book fans.
If you read comics,
now.
mate, you're a nerd. Sorry.
Wow.
Obviously, I do not mean that at all.
Shame on you, Tom. Shame on you.
Shame. Anyway, now that the Spider-Man references are out of the way, we can get on with the band Venom. Richard, before we go into the songs and all the history and everything, what is your history with the band Venom?
Well, Tom, when you mentioned Venom, the first thing I thought of was the Spider-Man Venom. And that was my joke. Fuck you.
Yeah.
No, genuinely it was, because it's my favourite Spider-Man villain. I had never, ever heard of this band before in my life. I have no history with them whatsoever.
I figured that was going to be your answer. Yep, and I'm not surprised. I don't blame you either for that, because, as we'll go into in my description, my particular history of the band, it's not a band that you're going to see on TV a lot, certainly wasn't when I got into Mel. You didn't see their videos on TV. Similar situation to Judas Priest, sort of. Yeah, you didn't see them on TV, you didn't hear them on the radio. The only way you heard of them was, like, people in magazines talking about what an influence they were of metal and all this and that. Yeah, that's basically the only reason I knew them, for people talking about them in magazines. And then, you get streaming, as we've said before, you can check out more stuff. So they're not really a band that's, in the public eye as much as somebody like Iron Maiden or Metallica or Sabbath.
They're not one of the Holy Trinity or one of the pillars, are they?
No, they're very much like a cult band, but as we'll get into, they're a band that's very important in terms of the history of heavy metal and getting metal onto the more extreme side of the genre. Taking what Motorhead did, which is loud and heavy rock and roll, and then making more evil slant to it.
Okay.
Slightly more heavy. You can disagree with that. Slightly more heavier, and the things they're talking about in their songs as well. I think more than the music, and I guess would be more of an influence on later bands as we go along.
Okay.
Anyway, so getting into my favourite part, the history of the band. They were formed in Newcastle-Upon-Tyne, YA.
Fog-on-the-Tyne.
Fog-on-the-Tyne is all mine. They were formed by Paul Gascoigne, Peter Beardsley, Jimmy Howe. No, they were not. Of course they were not. Chris Waddle.
And Dick.
Yeah, all the all the guys from Newcastle. No, of course they weren't. No. But they were formed in Newcastle-Upon-Tyne in 1978. They were also known before they started. They were known as Guillotine.
Okay.
And Dwarf Star. Do you like those two names?
Dwarf Star, I like. Guillotine sounds a little bit
generic.
Yeah, but then so does Venom as well. I would say.
Yeah. I think they're both decent names. Dwarf Star sounds a bit stupid. I think if you're like a fantastical band sort of thing.
Yeah, like I think glam rock.
Kind of dwarf
or something like that. Like, like shiny spacesuits and headbands and things like that.
Yeah. Power metal or something like that. It works, if you're talking about sorcery and wizards and all this stuff, and you play your band Dwarf Star.
Yeah.
That kind of works, really.
Like Iron Maiden, I could have seen being called Dwarf Star.
That's a good,
Yeah.
Absolutely. So those were the bands before they ended up those are the names before they ended up settling on Venom, which I think was probably the right choice.
I mean, I get
it's a catchy enough name. Really.
I mean, I still think it's kind of generic. I mean, but maybe not as generic as like Evil or something like that, or like Pain.
Bear in mind, they called their band Venom before the comic.
Yeah.
So this is original, not the.
Well, I mean, it's not, because like the original Venom is like from an animal. So, like, you'd say that's
Right.
that's
right
the
then,
original.
Right then, right? No, Venom existed
They
before snakes.
invented the word venom, and then people went, "That'd be really good for that shit that snakes pump into you, wouldn't it?" Let's call it that, because when we're calling it poison, and that doesn't make any sense.
That's totally what Eminem was singing about in that song as well. That
Snake.
awful, terrible song. Venom. Anyway, moving on from Eminem. He seems to
Second time
worm his way into this conversation again. So the main influences, obviously you would expect the earlier heavy metal bands, like Sabbath and Judas Priest, and obviously Motorhead as well, if you consider like the dirtiness of the sound that they're doing here.
And let me guess, the Beatles?
No.
What?
I have not written down the Beatles, unfortunately,
Okay.
Richard.
Wow. That's the end of the streak.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I mean, so we're going to talk about. I'll talk about another two bands who are kind of like big influences as well. Sex Pistols, obviously, in terms of like the more punkier sound of this band, and in terms of the "fuck you" lyrics.
So they came around after the Sex Pistols?
Yeah, Sex Pistols
okay.
were late 70s.
What year did they form?
Who?
Venom?
78.
So around about the same time.
Yeah, I mean, Nevermind the Box was out 77, I think. So yeah, they would have been a big influence around that time. Just watching them and watching the image and what they were talking about in their songs, and yeah, massive influence on the band. And also in terms of like the shock factor of their image and stuff like that, Kiss were pretty big.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
because Kiss were like pretty much
minus the makeup and stuff. I'm
guessing, Kiss were pretty much the original like shock rock kind of Alice Cooper as well, you could say as well.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see all that.
But Kiss are obviously massive in terms of their look and makeup and stuff like that. Yeah, so the band would become known for the satanic lyrics and imagery very early on. That was their intention.
Yeah, I saw some of the videos.
That was their intention straight away, just to get shock value and get noticed, which is fair enough. Yeah, but not mostly for shock value. They released their first album, Welcome to Hell, 1981.
So they formed in 78, you said?
78, so it took three years.
Yeah, to release an album. Okay.
But we talked about Judas Priest, it took them a lot longer.
Yeah, good point, actually, yeah. I'm guessing they were like touring, getting a name for themselves.
Yeah, getting a name out there, that stuff like that, Welcome to Hell was released in 81. It became a big influence on the thrash metal bands of the future. This gnarly, thrashy sound, which, we'll get into production a bit later, but it doesn't sound, clean or anything like that. They were the first, can I say this? Not quite. The first band to really put a satanic image in front of their music. Yeah, yes and no, but I think they were the first ones to really get noticed for it, really. Okay. So we will dive into Welcome to Hell. Starting with Welcome to Hell. From Welcome to Hell, the
band Welcome to Hell.
No, not quite. They don't have a song called Venom, unfortunately.
On the album Venom.
No,
that's a shame.
No, that's a shame.
So they're ending all of our streaks.
Yeah. I mean, Judas Priest didn't have a song called Judas Priest.
Yeah, they did. Shut up. On the album Judas Priest.
Yeah, totally. So we'll talk about Welcome to Hell first. Opens with a driving riff. Again, I'm going to keep mentioning Motorhead's name, but that's the big similarity I see here with this band. It sounds very Motorheady. And then going into some of the lyrics then. Yeah. Masturbating on the deeds we have done. So straight away we're, getting into controversial language in these songs. And then you get a female voice talking about Psalm 23. What that's about. And then we get also there's another song on the album called, which I didn't get you to listen to, called In League with Satan,
Okay.
where they have like a backwards message on it.
Oh,
So like, clearly, yeah, exactly that message. That's right. Yeah. So they're already getting into like deliberately trying to shock people and do this, all this and that. So, Welcome to Hell would have been the first Venom song you listened to if you listened to it in order.
I did.
So what were your first impressions?
So first of all, I'm going to completely disagree with the whole Motorhead.
Oh, you don't think they sound like Motorhead?
I do not think these two sound
enough.
anything alike.
Right.
I would describe Venom as a lot more thrashy than Motorhead for sure.
Yeah,
I would say this is more thrash metal than most things. But also, having said that,
Ow!
I think this is going to be a painful one for you, Tom.
Okay. Go on.
Sorry. Welcome to Hell. Super generic. It sounds like as if I got an AI to write a metal song for me. It just sounds so generic. Like, here's what I want: really fast thrash music and evil lyrics, and there you go.
Well, that's what you said you wanted, didn't it? So what are you moaning about?
But that's what I'm saying. It's
you said that's what you put into an AI.
Yeah, that's what I would put into the AI.
You.
And this sounds like the kind of thing that the AI would spit out. Like it sounds like, and based on what you've actually told me about the history of the band, it sounds like they knew right from the start we're going to be evil.
Yep.
And everything now needs to be evil. Everything about us needs to be evil. Like, we need to eat, sleep, and breathe evil. And all of our songs need to be evil. And we need to mention hell and Satan and death and dying and fire and brimstone as much as we possibly can. And this very first song you got me to listen to kind of summed all that up. And I'm going to tell you now, it's not really going to change throughout the rest of this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't like it. Not a fan.
Okay.
Thought it was kind of, like I said, it just sounded generic.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to touch on the 2 points, the 2 key points out of that. Firstly, you say they basically sound like an AI generated band, or what would sound evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be yeah, I mean, it would be silly of me to sit here and say like Venom are the most accomplished sounding metal band or band of any genre that you could listen to. It is, not very, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Interesting.
Cutting. Technical, I guess. Yeah, I'll say technical.
Okay, yeah.
There's not a lot in the songs that make you go, ooh.
Don't get me wrong. It must be hard to play instruments at this kind of speed and tempo. That's not what I'm slagging off here. I'm not saying that they don't have the technical ability in order to do that. Because playing drums and playing a guitar at this kind of speed, in tune, in time, must be very, very difficult. I don't doubt that at all. But what I'm saying is, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. Yeah,
totally. This would be a criticism of them from a lot of people. Would be, there's not a lot of change up here. And considering what comes later on, and what the bands will get into, in terms of technical metal and all this and that, they don't sound overly complicated. That makes the same. What was your second point? I can't remember.
Evil?
Evil, yes. You may see a theme developing into all of these songs that all sound like they're talking about evil shit. I'm not going to sit here and deny that point at all, because that's what most of the songs are about.
This is what I'm saying. It sounds like that they decided what they were going to be early on, and they never ventured away from that. That's what I'm saying. We eat, sleep, and breathe evil from now on, alright? If you're not going to bed with a goat's head every single night, then are you really Venom? You know, like
that was the agenda. Yeah, clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all slept in the same.
and I guess that you said that like that's what they tried to. You know, that was the niche that they saw, and that's the one that they went for, and that's fine. It probably works for a lot of people. A lot of people will be out there saying, "I really need to listen to something that makes me want to kill chickens," but I can't seem to find that sound. And then this band comes along, and they're like, "I fucking love this band. They speak to my evil soul."
Yeah,
I get that. That's fine.
I mean, they're definitely not a band that's going to be hitting up the mainstream.
No, I get that, and I get that that's what it is. But if you've learned anything from me on this show, the one thing I hate is people not stepping out of their comfort zone. I find that so boring.
Yeah.
And that's the one comment I've had over and over and over again. It sounds just like their other stuff. It sounds just like their other stuff. It sounds just like their other stuff. Oh, this song's really interesting. I like this one. So...
No, I totally. I'm
Buckle in, Tom.
on board with these. I'm on board with this opinion. Don't worry, this is not like a new-ish opinion that I've heard from nobody else ever. Yeah. So we'll move on.
Yep.
On to song 2.
You look like you're gonna cry.
No, I'm gonna cry. No, I'm good. On to song 2 from this album, Witching Hour.
Yep.
Which I think, for me, is up there in terms of my favourites. But we'll see what Rich thinks in a minute. Yeah, we got a similar start to this song that we get from Black Sabbath. You hear the sound of pouring rain.
Yep.
Creepy sounding. What I will say about this band, I don't know if you agree, when they get creepy in terms of this sort of shit, it works.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they'd do more of this.
Yeah.
Than thrashing.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. I think that this was the bit that I found the most interesting. It's a long intro. It's long.
When they get creepy, it works.
Yeah, it's interesting, but for me it was just a little bit too long.
Okay.
No. Let me finish.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I enjoyed it because it's different, and I think it does work. I totally agree with you. Could have just been just a touch shorter.
Fair enough. I mean, there's one song we'll get into.
I know.
A little bit later, which has a more drawn out, creepy sounding beginning, and it's not the one you're thinking of.
Oh, okay, then I don't.
Yeah, so it's an very ominous. Oh, I hate this word. Ominous. Yeah. Sounding beginning.
Yep.
And we kick off into a good guitar riff.
Yeah, I said that I really like the guitar solo.
There's
shreds well.
Yeah, there's one little bit in this song which I would put up there with. I'd probably say it's the best bit of any Venom song. There's a bit where they start playing the drums, and he screams out "Witching Hour." Goes into the super sick guitar solo. So that's probably the best part of any song, I would say, in the catalogue, is that little bit.
Wow.
For me. But we're not going on that way.
I mean, I would also say that's kind of quite damning as well.
Damning, yes. But we have more songs to go, and I might remember stuff. Anyway, do you want some anti-satanic? Do you want some satanic lyrics?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hit me with the evil lyrics.
Yeah. Satan, raised in hell, I'm going to burn your soul, crush your bones, I'm going to make you bleed, you're going to bleed for me. So some nice...
I mean, that just sounds like me babysitting.
Yeah, nice mainstream lyrics.
You're going to bleed.
So, did you check out the music video for this?
I did, and I put here, hey, they stole the light thing from Spinal Tap.
Yeah. Discount for Spartan.
We are the children.
Similar. It is similar. Discount for Spinal Tap.
No. They stole this from Spinal Tap.
Right, cool.
It's not the Splish Splash show.
Yeah, I mean, the image. I mean, I don't know if you see from the video, but the imagery is very silly.
Spinal Taps.
I know they're trying to be, look.
Spinal Tap speakers go up to 11.
Yeah.
The Venoms.
Clearly not. It's production. Viewed through the eyes of 2023, this video looks very silly. I don't know if it looked as silly back in 1981.
I don't know. I still think it looked interesting.
Yeah.
Because no one's doing that kind of thing anymore. So...
They weren't doing that back thing in 81 either.
So I don't know. I mean, it was attention grabbing.
Yeah, I mean that video in particular. I mean, video is stretching it. It's just
footage of them playing, isn't it?
Footage
basically,
of them playing, really.
I mean, but most videos were like that. Videos.
Yeah,
like
I mean, we'll get into more songs later on, which I'm thinking like. Obviously, didn't have much budget to make music videos anyway. Like, there's some songs coming up later which I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. That could have done with a decent music video, but it just wasn't. They just didn't have the budget or the money at that time,
Well, that's the thing as well. Is if you're very niche as well, studios are less likely to throw money at you, aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, for example. The video for that is very creepy looking and works very well. Second album, then black metal.
Yep.
First of all, the name black metal itself would become a pretty, well-known name in the metal circles, and would even become its own genre, black metal.
Oh, really?
Based off this album and the album's title.
Okay.
The black metal name would become more prominent later on, like in the early 90s, with the Norwegian black metal scene of the early 90s, which would make headlines all around the world.
No diss on Austria, by the way.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, Norway has a better metal scene than Austria. Sorry.
And we've lost our Austrian market. We were big
really
in
sorry. As I said, the Norwegian black metal scene would.
Yeah, the Scandinavian countries love their metal, don't they? They're really big.
That would bring it into the forefront and become worldwide.
Honestly, if you ask me about like heavy metal, it's Germanic countries like Germany, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, Finland. Those are the ones that I think of when I think heavy metal. Because
you say Iceland. That's a little bit different because it's not a massive population. I imagine they're into heavy metal.
I'm just thinking of like Eurovision.
But yeah, I mean definitely Finland, Sweden, Germany. Definitely, all those are massively into metal. Although some of the black metal bands that we talk about later on, when we go into black metal, should be a long way from now.
Okay.
At the moment, unless I change my mind.
I was going to say I didn't think there was any. I didn't think there was chronological order. I thought it was just how you felt when you felt.
It's going all over the place.
I mean, to be fair, we're still like early on. We're in like the 70s and 80s still. So
yeah. I mean, as I said, some of those bands in that scene didn't like Venom because they thought they were silly and didn't sound particularly intimidating, which is fine. But I would say, along with 3 other bands in Europe, they would shape like this black metal sound and extreme metal as a whole. And we're covering Venom first because they're English.
And we're biased.
And they came first before these 3. But I will shout them out because I think they, more than anything else, had influence over what the sound would come.
I mean, if you say that like the whole music genre is called black metal and this album is called black metal, then I think it's fair to say that they came first, right?
Yeah. Although what the genre would shift into doesn't.
Yeah, but that's different. It's like rock and roll completely changed with what it was. So it's started off as one thing, like it was an offshoot of the blues, wasn't it? And now rock is something entirely different. It's its own beast now, isn't it? So.
On to black metal then. That's the album I gave you to listen to. And we'll go with the first song, which is called Black Metal, from the
band Black Metal.
Album Black Metal.
Time to spell, chaos in hell, metal from maniacs pure. Fast nothing steel, fortune on wheels, brain hemorrhages to cure. Black metal, black metal.
They used a chainsaw to create the opening effect on the song. So much so that all the teeth on the chainsaw broke. But they got the noise, so it worked, I guess. What are you thinking about this production at this stage?
Well, I've wrote this. I was already starting to think this, but this is the point where I actually realised I really don't think I'm going to like Venom very much.
Okay. Go on. Oh, got nothing more to give. Alright.
Generic.
Okay. There's a lot of good riffs in this song, but okay. Generic. As I said, coin the term black metal, that's fine. Got the very distinctive lyrics, lay down your soul to the gods of rock and roll, which is very tame, considering the rest of the stuff that come up in the lyrics.
Yeah, that's...
tones. I think this whole song and tell is tame in terms of lyrics, but it's one of the most popular songs. I like it. It's one of my favourites.
I don't know. I just found it hard to differentiate between the previous two that we've had. You know, just everything just sounds so samey and generic, and honestly, if you turn around to me at the end of this episode and go, Richard, this has all been a massive test, and this was the first ever AI heavy metal band.
Well,
did you know that?
No.
And I'd be like, oh, right, yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, and the album was released last year from ChatGPT-4, and they really, and I would have been like, oh, okay, I totally get that.
This generic band name.
Yeah,
totally.
I would have been like, I totally get that. Yeah, but to me, nothing has really stood out here. Okay. You say this really interesting sound before the song. I don't remember this at all.
No.
Nope.
Okay. But it was a chainsaw.
Okay, what did they break the teeth on? What were they trying to cut?
I don't know. That's what we use your chainsaw on.
Well, I'm guessing that because they're evil, they're trying to cut up a dead body, right?
Oh, that's clearly it, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's got caught up on all the teeth and the hair.
I mean, from experience, I know that's.
Bone is tough.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. There's a lot of it when you need to cut up a human.
Not actually a murderer. Don't worry. This is a joke. I suppose I can't do that now. Sorry, I'm in the middle of recording a podcast here. So maybe some of you don't know what black metal is.
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably amongst them.
Okay,
but you said it's different to what it would have been.
Yeah, later on. I mean, the black metal traits you think of now would be like the song having a fast tempo, very lo-fi production. That sounds like they did it in a toilet underground or some shit.
Right.
Shrieking vocals, which don't really get hit.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's not very shrieky at all, and then an emphasis on atmosphere. Most black metal songs sound like you're lost in the woods on a dark night and you're being followed by some shrieky demon or something.
A banshee.
Yeah. And then
I was going to say I did not get shrieky from this guy.
No, that would become a trait later.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'm talking like what black metal is now. And similar to Venom, bands would start wearing like corpse paint and adopt pseudonyms, chosen names, just to make them look like more
twats.
Wait, say twats if you like.
Give yourself a nickname, you're a twat.
Make them sound more evil sounding,
That's something teenagers do.
We're the most evil sounding black metal band, not that one. We are. So there you go. And we'll talk about that more when we get to black metal.
Can there not be a black metal band that covers all of the criteria that you're saying, but sings like really nice things, like hampers of kittens? And,
if you want to start bands
like that.
Also, keyboards.
Ah, right, okay.
Emphasis on atmosphere. Keyboards.
Yeah, okay, I got that. Yeah.
Which you don't really get in death metal.
So it's more of a synthy kind of sound.
Sort of.
I mean, you're saying really low budget
Yeah. It still
with
sounds
keyboards
low budget.
and like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of synth.
Yeah, not like Depeche Mode or anything like that. Or other bands that play synths that I can't remember off the top of my head. New Order. Anyway, we're talking a lot about evil and satanic themes here.
Mm-hmm.
However, on the next song,
Yeah, a bit of a swerve.
this one is a swerve, and this one grabs your attention. I mean, I don't know how this song cannot grab anybody's attention who listens to it and isn't listening to the lyrics. I don't know how you can listen to the song and not listen to what the lyrics are. But hey, Teacher's Pet.
Yeah. So can I ask you a question before you discuss this song?
Go on, yeah, go on.
Is this song about a teacher's affair with a student, or is it about a stripper / prostitute who pretends that they're a school teacher?
I think it's the first one.
So it's an actual underage relationship thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never got like any
Because
sort
I
of stripper
got
vibe.
the I don't know. I was listening to it and I got like a she's my cherry pie kind of
Yeah,
vibe
kind
out
of. I
of
mean,
it.
you've. I was going to talk about it a little bit later on, but we'll discuss the Van Halen song "Hot for Teacher," which
Yeah.
came out in '84. So that this precedes. Is that the word?
It came before.
Came before, yeah.
Yeah.
Came before "Hot for Teacher," which obviously would become like a big mainstream hit for Van Halen. This song, not as much, probably due to the lyrics.
Yeah, I don't imagine
know.
it got
That
on.
this song was an inspiration for "Hot for Teacher." I don't know if Van Halen heard that and thought, well, there's something here. We just need to dumb it down a little bit. I mean, "Hot for Teacher" was
Just make it a little bit more safe for radio.
yeah. I mean, "Hot for Teacher" was still like controversial at the time for the song about the teacher, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Isn't it weird, can I just say,
Go on.
that from the male perspective, it's always like, oh, go on, yeah, good for you. But from the female perspective, it's always creepy and weird.
Yeah, totally.
Like The Police, for instance, you know.
Yeah, and I
Don't Stand So Close to Me is a song of, that's got a very sinister undertone. Whereas from a man's perspective, it's always like, oh, you lucky bastard.
yeah, that's pretty much the theme of the song, isn't it? Really? Oh God, yeah, definitely.
So weird, isn't it? That, I mean, is that not a bit of a damning indictment on society in general, that we view it like that? Women are taken advantage of.
I
just...
totally agree. I think things are probably changing a little bit in that regard, but I think that's still like a well-held thing. I imagine people in school now are still doing that sort of shit. Probably.
I would actually argue that it actually happens that way more often than not as well. You hear far more stories about female teachers with male students than the other way around.
Okay, maybe just that's on the news more.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it in a heinous kind of way. That's what I'm saying. Like, we as a society, and these songs are kind of guilty of it as well, look at it as girls being attacked by male teachers and being taken advantage of, and that is disgusting. And don't stand so close to me because people are going to find out, and then I'll be in trouble and everything, and everything like that. But from the male perspective, it's like, teacher wears short skirt today. Yeah, I can see right down her top. Sexy little bitch. Busted. They've got a song like
Copyright.
Copyright 2023.
Yeah, what's Busted song?
That's what I go to school for.
That's why I go to school. Yeah.
But even that one, is like,
it's all
you
about
lucky
sexy teacher,
bastard,
yeah.
sexy teacher. What? My teacher's so fucking sexy. Yeah, like, I wish that she'd hit on me. But, and then, like, I don't know, man. I just think it's pretty damning, really.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's that South Park episode as well, isn't there? That's like that. I know you don't like South Park, but it's.
I do like South Park.
Oh, I thought you didn't. Oh, anyway.
Family Guy's one I don't mind.
Oh, right, okay. Well, there's a South Park episode like that where there's the teacher is having a relationship with Ike, the baby in like kindergarten,
right.
and Kyle goes to the police. And the police are like, "Oh my God, this sick motherfucker! We gotta take this bastard down." And he's like, "Yeah, it's my brother." He's like, "Wait, it's your brother? With a female teacher, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Nice." And then everyone's like, "Nice." And then it comes up, and he's like, she's having a relationship with another student.
Oh.
And they go to the police and tell him again, and the main police officer is like, "Damn it! Where were all these sexed up teachers when I was a kid?"
Yeah.
Because even now we're sitting here laughing about it, and it's like, you know, if it was the other way around, if it was a male teacher with a female student, it would be like, that's disgusting and vile. And yet here we are.
I'm sure some women dreamt about being with their male teacher.
Yeah,
at
but
school.
Had it ever happened, then it would be very much like they took advantage of me.
They're more outraged.
Yeah. And whereas the other way, it's kind of like, lucky bastard. You know?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I can't disagree with that. So the song opens with a Ring Around the Roses chant, which, if you know your metal, will not be the first time Ring Around the Roses will be mentioned in a metal song, which we'll probably cover later on when we get to said band.
Oh, okay.
Beginning with K and ending with Orn. That's the one. Yeah, you get a good morning, class. A good morning, miss. Being very nice and respectful here.
When really all the boys are trying to keep their erections down.
Totally.
You know, like, cross my legs and...
You know, they're talking about getting their tits out. You know,
I did love that.
Yeah, get your tits out. Teacher caught me masturbating underneath the desk. She looked at me and winked her eye. See you after class. They're nice and romantic. Clearly.
See?
No.
Now change the sexes around and tell me that's not a creepy song now.
Yep, she called me back and locked the door. My lessons just begun. Yeah.
Now again, switch the sexes and tell me that's not creepy.
Yeah, the buses clearly were listening to this song.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Other interesting lyrics. Teacher's pet. Teacher's wet.
Oh yeah.
Teacher's pet. Teacher's wet. Yep. This line I really liked. 69, I don't mean lines. That's a really good line. I like that.
You shouldn't be applauding it, man. Come on, you're just.
I'm just reading the lyrics.
No, you're
I'm laughing
substantiating
along how absurd they are.
You're substantiating the problem. You're what's wrong with this world today, man.
I mean, I say that was a good lyric. This one is good, but also like disgusting. This next one I'm going to read out. I played hide and seek with teacher's mouth. Like wow, that's some wordplay right there, isn't it?
You see why this didn't get on the radio, probably.
Yeah, that's probably why it didn't get on the radio. No, and then you know you get at the end you get a long get your tits out for the lads.
I must admit, I did love that. That's a very British thing, isn't it? Get your tits out, get your tits out, get your tits out for the lads.
Yeah, for a band like Venom, this is not kind of evil shit you would expect, but it's also controversial, so you would expect that.
I think it's evil because I think you're supposed to read into it that the teacher is a succubus. And she's put a spell on all of the male students.
Yeah.
And they can't control themselves. And she's an evil demon, basically, that's sucking the soul and the life out of them. And her tits are the magical vessel for their souls.
Yeah, that's totally what it's about. Well done.
That's how I got it.
Yeah, absolutely not. So, obviously, you talked at length about how disgusting the thought of being with a female teacher is, and how disgusting.
No, I never said that.
No, I'm saying, yeah, go ahead.
What I said is the hypocrisy is disgusting.
Absolutely. Saying that, what do you think of the song?
I liked it.
Absolutely, of course you liked it, you dirty bastard.
Son of a filthy, filthy little bastard.
You absolutely bollocks. You don't believe anything what you just said, do you?
I'm hollow, mate. I've got no beliefs at all.
Absolutely.
You know, I just say things because they're popular. I have no morals.
You want to make yourself look good for the ladies.
Exactly, that's right.
By saying all that bullshit,
Yeah,
and then you go, "Oh, I really like so actually."
I'm woke.
It really
I'm
spoke
on your
to me.
side. Hey man, I've said this before. I had a crush on my teacher when I was at school.
I'm sure.
And I would have loved her to ask me to do 69.
I don't think there was
lines.
probably many people, maybe male or female, that didn't have a crush on at least one teacher at school, or any of their schools.
Yeah.
Right? Because I went to 3 different schools.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine, I don't know how many schools you went to, and then you obviously got college, got university as well. So yeah, I imagine most people would have had a crush on at least one teacher.
I think it's a pretty standard teenage fantasy, isn't it?
Yeah.
The teacher.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I think that's it. But what I was saying, don't get me wrong, I love the song. But what I was saying is that I think that the way the songs are written is quite strange. Like, if you wrote a song upbeat and happy and cheery like this about a male and a female student, a male teacher and a female student, there would be outrage and absolute uproar. Now, I'm not saying that there probably wasn't controversy with this song. Of course there was. But then I named 3 other songs straight away that are exactly about the same thing, and named one that was about a male and a female, and the other way around. And that is sung as a completely different song.
Yeah.
It's upbeat, but it's not like, oh, you fucking lucky bastard. It's more like, this is wrong, and you know that this is
Back
wrong.
away, not today.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Imagine this kind of song, male teacher, female student. How do you think that would go down?
Absolutely. And listen to this album. You know, there is points when I listen to the album and I'm like, should I give Richard the album to listen to, or just give him a few songs or whatever? When you listen to a song like this and hear it for the first time, and you're like, oh, ka-ching. Thank you so much for recording this piece of art. Thank you very much. Like, give me something to talk about. And that's where it would end, because they would never record any other songs about teachers. More to come, thankfully.
Do you have stats on what their best performing song or album is? Is that to come, or? Because I know some bands you've said this was like their highest charting song.
Well, I mean, you talked about Rich and Famous earlier. They wouldn't be very. I have nothing for charts at all. Nothing.
Right. Because I was going to say that if you told me this was their most successful song / album, whatever, I wouldn't have been surprised by that, because it's the most not.
I think this song probably should have been bigger than it was because of the controversial topic, and it's a topic that most people can relate to.
Yeah, but I think they probably went about it the wrong way. Like, they made it too controversial that it wouldn't get in front of a larger audience because of that. However, if they toned it back a little bit, Hot for Teacher, it would have got in front of more ears, more people probably.
Maybe the timing, early 80s, there wasn't a lot of music videos back then for like heavy rock bands and stuff like that.
People weren't really into paedophilia in the early 80s. We're much more into it now. It's
Whereas,
much bigger.
As we say, Hot for Teacher, I think hit at the exact right time, mid-80s.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's also more palatable. Does that make sense? It's controversial, but it's not offensive. Like, so radio stations can play it, be a little bit, it's a bit naughty, but they will play it. Whereas
it's not over the top.
This one, Teacher's Pet is radio stations aren't going to go near it. That's the problem. No. And had they done that, then I would say this I wouldn't be surprised if you said this was their best performing song, and then I would have been like, you know, they maybe didn't have that. They obviously didn't have that moment like Judas Priest or something like that, where they're like, we need to be a little bit more commercial because we're not making any money.
Yeah.
You know, they obviously didn't have that because,
No.
you know, they're like, no, we stick to our morals.
I mean, we talked about in the Iron Maiden episode, they had like, I can't remember how many was it, like nearly 15 top 10 singles?
Yeah.
You know, Venom got nowhere near that at all. You know, I could tell you, like, Welcome to Hell, Black Metal, To Hell and Back, probably like the ones that perform most well on Spotify and streaming services, but charts I've got nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing. They're very much a cult-ish band. Give me an S. Give me an A. Give me a C. No, we're not going to do the whole thing because that'd be boring too much, wouldn't it? SACIFICE. This clearly is the most famous song ever about a song title spelt out.
No. Fuck you.
Clearly more famous than RESPECT by Aretha Franklin.
Gonna say I this is what I've written here. I love a song that spells out its name.
Yeah, I do.
Like RESPECT or Gwen Stefani's Bananas.
Yep.
BANANAS.
BANANAS by Gwen Stefani.
This shit is bananas.
Yep, I've got another two written down.
You're better than me. Go on then.
LOLA. Lola.
Oh, LOLA.
Yeah, it's a little bit
Yeah.
different by the Kinks.
Yep.
And LIFEGOESON.
Oh, Life Goes On.
Life Goes On.
Yeah.
So those are some more all four of those are more famous than the Sacrifice.
Bless them. They tried.
Yeah, they tried.
Yeah,
you've also got Be Aggressive by Faith No More, which is also more famous than
aggressive. Be aggressive.
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes as well. Yeah, that song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a cheerleading song as well. Like loads of cheerleaders singing.
There you go. Yeah.
Like you hear it at I heard it at the Cavaliers game that I was at.
Oh, okay.
You know you have defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as in the fence. And then you have be aggressive when they're going forward. It's like be aggressive.
Yeah, it's very
be aggressive.
Yeah. I was going to say Mickey, but Mickey doesn't spell that out, does it? No.
Same kind of.
Yeah, it's like cheerleader,
beat
but it doesn't go MICKEY, does it?
It would be a better song if it did.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a good song anyway, but it would be even better if it spelled it out.
Yeah, so Venom Sacrifice towards all of those famous...
absolutely. 100%. I now know how to spell sacrifice. When you need to learn how to spell sacrifice, sing this song.
Yep, so...
Gwen Stefani taught me to spell bananas. This song taught me to spell sacrifice.
That's it, yeah. Now you know how to spell sacrifice. The song Sacrifice, what is it about?
Spelling.
Yeah,
Just teaching me how to spell
the word.
Yeah,
definitely.
you know, because they really struggled with that. You know, and they're evil. They need to know how to spell sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it a lot. So they thought, we need to come up with a pneumatic device that we could you know, SACRIFICE.
It's a difficult song to spell out, isn't it?
It's
to
not.
say out loud.
It doesn't.
Because it's got two I's.
Yeah.
Like close to each other. It's like SACRIFICE.
It doesn't. It doesn't fit into
doesn't fit nicely.
A beat either, does it? It's like
no.
You go SACRIFICE. It doesn't really fit into.
But at least it's something different.
Yeah.
Other than the spelling bit, what's the song about?
I have no idea.
It's about sacrifice.
Oh, I figured as much, but I thought you might surprise me.
Yeah. So the song talks about hooded figures, you know, fires burning with their eyes, you know, pentagrams, Baphomet, as we talked about earlier. Obviously, when you talk about sacrifice, you think of virgins, right?
Or animals.
Yeah, and it talks about...
Sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, sacrificial lamb. I mean, it talks about a virgin, flesh lies tied and bound. These nice lyrics that they come up with here. And they talk about Hail Satanus.
I think you're going way too deep on a song that spells the word sacrifice. I think you should have just left it at that and moved on. There's not much more beyond the surface level of SACRIFICE.
Yeah, I mean that's what I need to say. You can probably imagine it. It would make a good music video, I reckon, if you did it like a bit later than early 80s.
I don't know. I think the spelling bit's just going to make it look stupid.
But yeah, I mean, the song talks about plunging a dagger into her breast. Into the Virgin's breast.
Yeah. Pretty standard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Never sacrificed them by making them eat lots, do they?
The song also mentions witches, which have become a very, very big talking point in a lot of their songs.
I'm guessing. Oh, right. Oh, okay. Actually, in the songs.
Yeah,
okay. I thought you meant in general.
It's not the first song that mentions
it was
witches.
going to become
it's
the
all about witching
hour. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very similar to that, you know. So, moving on then. You like Sacrifice? You like a good sacrifice, do you?
You know what? For how stupid it sounded, I actually liked it. Just because of the stupid spelling. It was different. It was something different. It broke up the monotony of all of the generic AI stuff, and it was ridiculous, but because it was different, I latched onto it just because it was like, oh my god, it's bananas.
BANANAS.
Exactly. It just, I latched onto it just because it was something different. It was the any port in a storm kind of thing, you know.
So we go from the very notable Sacrifice to another pretty unnotable song, if I'm being honest, Heaven's on Fire, which is about getting to heaven and realising it's on fire. It's basically turned into hell.
Wouldn't that mean that you're in hell?
Yeah.
So you're just confused about where you are.
Yeah.
You thought you were going to heaven, but you're actually in hell.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like The Good Place. Have you ever seen that?
Good Place.
The Good Place, the TV show. It's a good show.
Okay. Who's that got it?
It's got Ted Danson in it.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about the sky being a blazing tomb, which is quite cool. Other than that, I don't really have a lot to say. Really
I don't
here,
have anything
apart
to say
from
here.
It's got a really cool ending riff, but it's generic by the numbers. Unfortunately, sorry.
I'm not sorry.
I like pretty much most of this album, to be honest. But with a few of these songs, there's not really a lot to talk about.
There are a few diamonds in the rough.
Yes,
but other than
there
that,
are a few diamonds in the rough.
There's
I would say
at least 3
or 4 which are worth it. Anyway, we've got 2 more songs on this album to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Don't Burn the Witch.
Okay, I have nothing room for
This
this.
is the point where, we talk about witches again, man. What are we talking about witches again? I do like the riffs in the song and the drum beats. They sound pretty cool. But I've written down it's too similar to Wishing Hour and Sacrifice for me. And
minus the spelling.
Need to start changing up a bit more. Need more songs about not teachers. Maybe some of a profession, maybe.
Mechanics.
Yeah, about hot mechanic.
Sexy bitch covered in oil.
Trademark that. I do like some of the lyrics to this song. Talk about figures cackling, and witches brewing a pot of heat. Good.
It's good lyric.
Good lyrics.
Yeah,
but it's just we've heard this before. Unfortunately, it's just change it up. You don't need 3 or 4 songs about witches.
Especially on the same album.
Yeah, change up a little bit. I'm guessing you don't have much.
I have nothing written for this song
cool.
at all.
Let's move on to At War with Satan.
Okay.
Introduction.
Yes.
Now, this is pretty unique in terms of music in general, because I couldn't see another example of this happening. But the album ends with a song called At War with Satan Introduction. And the next album is called At War with Satan, which has a song called At War with Satan that starts. And the last song from the album, Black Metal, goes into
the first
song on the next album, which is like...
Very clever.
Very clever.
Very clever.
Very clever, and I don't remember seeing this in any other...
And had they been more popular, that would have been a fantastic piece of marketing.
Absolutely. We'll get onto that a little bit later. But, this song doesn't last very long. It only goes for 2 minutes and 20 seconds. it's not really much of a song until like the
I was
last
going to say, is it a
stretch of it.
song?
It's it's basically a teaser track for the next album, pretty much.
It's a piece of prose.
Yeah, if you will.
Spoken word.
Spoken word, yeah. It's very much spoken word, and it goes into the intro for At the War with Satan song.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's not overly a lot to say about the song other than it's quite unique sounding.
Yeah, I liked it. Because, again, it was unique. And it reminded me of Sum 41. They obviously take a lot of influence from that. Because they start their albums off with spoken word prose. And then the last song on the album has prose in it and then leads into the song.
Okay. I'll take your word for it, because I never listened to Sum 41 album.
Okay.
I was very much anti Sum 41 when I was a kid. And when I was a teenager. And I haven't really... I like a few of their songs, but I never listened to an album before.
Okay. They do the same thing.
Yeah. There you go. So,
Children of the beast embrace to spawn and hate the human race.
Sounds
to
cool.
consume the life that hugs the earth and aid the womb in giving birth. To a group that will appear and guide you through this final year. The dark armies then will come.
Wow, you remember most of the
Sun
words.
is 41.
Fantastic.
I listened to that album a lot when I was a teenager.
Okay, so we're a different spectrums there.
Yeah, but I would say that my Sum 41 is Linkin Park.
Okay. Yeah, understandable. I listen to more like mature, harder bands like Limp Bizkit and Papa Roach than Sum 41.
See, I listen to more, teeny bopper and chewing gum bands like Sum 41 and Blink 182, rather than Linkin Park and Papa Roach.
Yeah. So yeah, as we said, At War with Satan introduction, pretty unique. But we then go into At War with Satan.
Yep.
Oh, right. This one I ummed and ahed about giving you this. Because it took me at least 3 or 4 listens to get it, but then still not get it, if that makes any sense. Like, I felt I had to include it because it's important in their catalogue.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I was like, it was a slog to get through. Even as esteemed a metal guru as I am, it was a slog to get through. So I can already imagine what it was like for you.
Can I ask you to do your bits and pieces first?
Yeah.
Before I take you on a journey.
Yep. Right, so At War with Satan was amazingly supposed to be their big breakthrough into the mainstream.
This album or this song?
The album.
Okay, right. Okay, I was going to say.
But starting your album with a 20-minute song, I don't know how. But hey, worked for Rush. And speaking of Rush, this song was very much inspired by Rush's 2112, which also went 20 minutes long.
Right. 21 minutes and 12 seconds.
No.
Oh, okay.
Rush's 2112 basically was the album that broke Rush into Canada and America, into massive success.
Right, okay.
Because before then they were on the verge of being dropped by their label, and basically they were told this album has to sell.
Or you're done.
Yeah. So starting the album with a 20-minute long song would have been a risk.
Yeah.
But it worked.
It's also...
And they became rich and famous because of it. Sorry?
It's unique, isn't it?
So, for the time it would have been, yeah. Definitely. Like for 1976, I think it was when 2112 came out. So it would have been unique. So this was very much inspired by that. But I would say Rush are much better musicians than Venom. And could pull it off. This song... We'll talk about the album. We'll talk about the album first because I mentioned the album. The album cover has an upside down cross. I don't know if you saw that. Brownish.
I've got it. Yeah, it's still on my Spotify
They couldn't sell it in HMV. The cover was removed
because of the cover. Right.
Yeah, basically. So they got a look of attention.
Did it not come with like a sleeve that they could put over it just to hide that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, yes. The song goes 19 minutes and 54 seconds.
Is there significance to that?
No, I'm just telling you. It goes how long it went, just to see what we're up against here. It takes up the whole of the side one of this album. So,
they used to have sides.
If you talk about vinyl, back in the day,
the
whole side one.
Cassette, it would have been the whole of the side.
2112 takes on the whole of side one. We'll talk about Slayer later on, but Rain in Blood takes up the whole of side one of the cassette, and then side two is the whole of Rain in Blood again. To go the other scale, but the album's so short, it's on one side, and then it's on the other side as well. But we'll go more into that.
Right,
when we get to Slayer.
Yeah.
When we get to Slayer.
So it's the opposite of this.
It's the complete opposite.
It's not one song is so long, it's that all the songs are so short.
Yeah.
Right,
That's the complete opposite, To give you the yin and yang.
Okay, yeah.
So the song is a concept song. I'm sure you gathered.
Yeah, gathered that, yeah.
About a war between heaven and hell.
Yeah.
Which hell wins? This song, I've got a lot of notes for this, so I do apologise if I ramble.
No, that's fine.
But you can, edit it out. This song is too long, it's bloated, and they can't pull this off, in my opinion. They try, but there are bits in it which are interesting, but they try. There's no downtime in the song until like 13 minutes in. And then the downtime lasts for like 30 seconds. And then they go into more thrashy stuff. So they could have paced it a little bit better. Because there's some stuff in some of the downtime in the song sounds really good. And it sounds, I've written beautiful here. Which I imagine it is. I haven't listened to it back then. But, so as I said, the song talks about the war between heaven and hell. You get very much, the lyrics are very much from hell's side more than anything. Because you get lyrics such as "fuck the bastards."
History's written by the winners, mate.
Yeah. You talk about Lucifer commanding orgies and all this bollocks. Heaven failing to hold tranquility. Yeah, so there's not a lot of downtime in the song. You get marching sounds like 15 minutes in, and then you get the kind of drony voice coming in, saying, "Are you damned in hell?" Like it's really high or low sort of register. Low. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, it goes on way too long, and it's and then after 19 minutes and 54 seconds, you get a fade out. Like you've had 19 minutes and 54 seconds to do the song, and then it fades out. But then, to be fair, it does fade out into the next song, so kind of fair enough. But it's you expect a definitive end to the song, rather than a fade out for 20 minutes of your time. So this is long and a slog to get through. I don't think Venom could pull it off, and I don't think they did pull it off. There are interesting passages in the song, but yeah, I'd say thumbs down, unfortunately, from my opinion.
So you said that they can't pull it off, and I agree. But now you're talking about Rush doing it, and then Venom doing it after Rush. So it seems more like a publicity stunt to me. So it seems like Rush actually had an idea, and they followed through on it and a plan. Whereas it sounds like Venom just thought, that worked really well, how about we do that?
I mean, they had the plan in motion anyway, because it was because of this last song on the last album. So they had the concept was one that they thought been doing for years until they felt ready to do it.
Do you think that's the case, or do you think that they initially thought the intro of one album into the next, that's a really good idea.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Totally.
And that's a unique idea in and of itself. But then do you not think that they went, shit, we could do a 20-minute song. That would be even more interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like, what's better than cake? 2 cakes!
Yeah.
It seems like they had an idea of flowing one album into the next, which is a great idea. That's really clever. That's a good idea, and it's a cliffhanger, and it makes people want to listen to the next album. But then it also feels like they added this on top of it after the success of Rush as well. Like, I didn't know that, obviously, until you told me that. But now that you've said it, that's the very first thing I thought of, is Rush had a plan. It sounds like Venom just copied them, and they didn't really have a plan to go with it.
I think you probably should have shaved at least 10 minutes off this, and it might have worked.
Yeah.
They made it like even 8 minutes. Like even Iron Maiden and Metallica weren't doing like this length of song. Yeah, like if they did long songs, it would usually be like 8 minutes.
It did not need to be as long as it was. No,
it did not need to be this long. It's too ambitious, and for a band that's derided for a lot of people by their playing or whatever, I don't think. However, it does lead us into. Is there anything else you want to say?
Oh yeah, I was going to take you on my journey.
Yeah, go on.
So here we go.
I imagine it was a journey to listen to, because it was a journey for me. I'll tell you that much.
So before this song began, I was not underlined looking forward to it.
Yeah, totally. I was like
9 minutes in. I'm so bored. And they keep faking me out with false finishes. Like, it just keeps sounding like, oh, it's coming to an end. And I was like, that's not 20 minutes. Or, oh, no, it's not. It's 8 minutes. Yeah. 12 minutes and 41 seconds. Fuck you, Tom. I'm taking a break.
Yeah, I imagine this song would get a fuck you reaction.
I
I was prepared for it, don't worry.
And I made a cup of tea. I had my cup of tea. I watched a little bit of TV just to calm down a little bit. 45 minutes later, I came back.
45 minutes later, wow.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I listened to this in stages, man. I've got a lot.
18 minutes into the song. Just 2 more minutes. I can do this. It's just 2 more minutes. 19 minutes and 54 seconds. I did it. I fucking actually did it. Oh, fuck. I've got 4 more songs to listen to. And that's my journey through war.
Okay. It's a hell of a journey. Thanks for sharing that with us, mate.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I had the same similar sort of journey. Very rough to get through this, unfortunately.
It was not fun.
That being said, if you ever go to see Venom live, not saying that you would,
I won't.
this is a perfect time to go for a piss or to go and get a drink.
Oh yeah, go
You need that palate
Go
cleanser.
get a hot dog.
By the time you get back to Tom, who's still playing.
What did I miss?
Yeah. So there you go. Apologies to any Venom fans who like this song. I know a lot of people like the album. They think it's one of their best, and that's fine.
Hey, this whole show is not about bashing people that like things. Like whatever the fuck you want to like. I do not give a fuck. This is just my opinion of acts and bands that he wants me to listen to. And sometimes we find nuggets and little bits of gold in there, and I'm just like, that's a great fucking song, and I love it. And other times, it's at war with Satan, and I'm wishing I was dead, and asking, why the fuck did I agree to do this show? And that's just me. You do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Okay, this is the purpose of this show, to get arguments like this. This is exactly what we want. Anyway, thankfully, they do a little palate cleanser and go straight into Rip Ride, which rips and rips and rips and rips and rips and rips.
Satan's
favourite song. I'm not sure. It might be the best riff anyway. Talking about Hell's point of view as they defend Hell from Heaven. There's a great riff in the middle of the song and excellent drum beats. And I think it's got probably, in terms of intensity, it's my favourite song because, especially towards the end, it really picks up really, really fast. So this is up there for me. Probably say it's this or Witching Hour, which are probably my favourites. Maybe Buried Alive. But yeah, this is up there for me. But it's tough, I know, because it comes straight on this song. So it's very tough to listen to anything by this band afterwards. I get that, totally. But let's hear it.
So you said that this is a nice little palate cleanser.
Yep.
This is what I've written here. Headphone warning. Tom, this is the same fucking song!
Well, it goes into the next bit, doesn't it? It fades into the song. It wasn't a palate cleanser at all.
You got me to listen to a 20-minute song and then a fucking another version of it straight afterwards.
Yeah, this is the problem with listening to a 20-minute song. And
it's the same fucking song! So it's a palate cleanser. It's not. It's the same song and it's the same shit that they've been pumping out for pretty much all of the time now. Generic as fuck.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's all right.
You can put your headphones back in there.
Yeah, well, I think in isolation the song's great. Maybe not after a 20-minute song though.
It would be great if it actually was a palate cleanser. Sounds exactly the same as the 20-minute song I've just listened to.
As with most bands we talked about before, lots of problems with bands and band members leaving and whatsoever, and this would be no different.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Tensions would become strained within the band. Mantis would leave go solo.
Not Mantis!
And also Cronus would leave.
Not Cronus!
Yeah. Leaving Abaddon as the only one left.
Oh.
But Cronus, Mantis would rejoin quite soon after.
Which one was which again?
yeah, you don't care at this point, do you? However, there would be a new man joining the band.
Can I try and guess his name?
By the name of Tony Dolan.
Tony Dolan. Can I try and guess his nickname?
Yeah.
Big Dick Energy. No. Beelzebub.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. His nickname would be Demolition Man. Like the film.
So it's Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, they took inspiration from Venom, clearly, when they were coming up with that name. Totally, yeah.
That's
Anyway.
not very evil, though, is it? It's not very...
Sounds brutal and hard, though.
Yeah, but
Demolition.
you're kind of going in a completely different direction here. You know, like you're going for the whole evil thing. You know, like evil and... but now you're going into a whole rock kind of area. Like Demolition Man, I could imagine like being like a rock band name, you know, like...
I guess.
But I don't really hear it for like evil, you know.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah, it's a little bit. Sounds out a little bit compared to the other names, doesn't it? But yeah, a cool name nonetheless, in my opinion.
If you say so.
I do say so. So we're on to the last song, Richard.
Hooray!
So you're so happy. Considering this last song
I
is
actually
from
wrote that.
considering this last song is from 1992 and they're still going today.
They are. Holy fuck.
I spared you here.
Well, thank you.
Kind of. I spared you like 30 more years of Venom. Anyway, so the last song is not subtle either. The last song is called Clarice.
Yep.
Clarice, what perfume you wearing today? No, don't tell me. I know. And the soap that you washed with. Come to me. Don't feel scared. I'm not going to bite. Well, maybe just a little. Maybe just a mite. You know, without windows, without
released in 1992. Now, Richard, what movie was released in 1991?
E.T.
No, that's way too late for E.T.
91. Bodyguard.
Maybe. Could have been.
I don't know, Tom. What film was released in 1991?
Silence of the Lambs.
What?
Was
Wait,
released.
what? Are you fucking joking?
So Silence of the Lambs was released in 1991.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, would become a massive success, becoming one of the few movies to win the Big Five at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Film. I think Best Screenplay is the other one. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But yeah, massive success. Huge. Obviously, the very recognisable villain, icon, Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Buffalo Bill.
Or Buffalo Bill, if you like, but obviously Hannibal Lecter said more than everyone remembers,
Do you think I'm sexy? I think I'm sexy.
It's right said Fred Fat, clearly. So, yeah, this song, obviously...
No, it's Would You Do Me, isn't it? That's what he says, sorry. Would you
it?
do me? Okay. I do me. And he's got his dick tucked between his legs.
Yeah, we all remember that bit.
I just watched that bit on replay.
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah. You had to buy a new DVD because you rewound it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm with you. So obviously this was released in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
The song name's Clarice.
Mm-hmm.
So this is no way, shape or form a cash grab at
No,
all,
not at all.
or an attempted cash grab.
There's no reference to the film in
Because
the
I've
song
never heard
or
of this
anything.
song at all until we started doing research for this. So it shows you how much of a cash grab it was. Didn't work.
They, bless them, they seem to try. They just don't seem to quite get...
Nah, in terms of...
right ideas, wrong execution.
In terms of, mainstream success, no, but, So, what did you think of the song overall? Obviously, it's a little bit different.
I wrote last song, come on, home stretch, we can make it. Then, I was like, okay, actually, this is quite interesting. But my cynicism had kicked in by that point, and I was like, I'm sure that's going to change at some point, that I'll get bored with it. Then we got, a weird, reference in there. I have no idea what they were referencing at all inside the film, the song. I don't know what they were referencing. It was really weird. But right at the end, there was some sort of reference there. But after that, they lost my interest.
Did they lose you when it started going to the thrashy bit?
Yeah, they went right back to the well, and I wrote here, finish as you began, I suppose.
It's a little bit harsh. But yeah, I think...
I don't think they needed to go thrash.
I think, at the end they did kind of, because the song changed, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think they needed to do that, is what I'm saying. I don't think they
just kept it.
I think that it was an interesting song in and of itself, but then it felt like, they were writing it and, everyone's fingers were getting really itchy and they were like, oh, just smash
Yeah, maybe.
It just felt like, that's what it was, it was like they couldn't resist.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, this is largely a spoken word song.
Mm-hmm.
Written from the view of Hannibal
Lecter,
basically talking to Clarice and asking her around for dinner. Isn't that nice? Oh, that doesn't end nicely, unfortunately.
With, fava beans and a nice bottle of Chianti.
Yeah, it doesn't say that in the song, does it? No. Yeah, he compliments her on what perfume she's wearing. That's very nice and gentlemanly.
It's lines from the film, isn't it?
For the most part, he talks about, hearing the lambs and, come closer, I might bite. All this and that. Talks about, Clarice having the pleasures of outside, which she doesn't have, tries to tug on her heartstrings a little bit here. You get the interesting lyrics with Venom, as we always have. He wants to taste this. I want to taste the smell of her body cells. Oh, okay. He talks about not being. He doesn't want to hurt her. Yeah, he wouldn't hurt a fly. All this and that, and then completely contradicts himself by saying he'd, tear at her breast and rip out her heart, bloody and battered. Gnaw on her neck, basically put her on the table like a boar with an apple in its mouth. What do you think about the themes of this song in particular? Are you happy that Hannibal Lecter fantasises about eating Clarice? Or would you rather they just left that alone? Kind of like they do in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of implied, isn't it? But then it's also kind of... It feels like he doesn't really see her like that as well in the film. There's if you watch the film, there's like an underlying tension of, that this man's dangerous, that he's a psychopath.
Totally.
But he also seems quite protective of her as well.
Even though he's clearly playing with her.
But that's what I'm saying.
In the movie, yeah.
It's a protection that's like a twisted kind of. It's like
basically,
like the song. It's like a. Oh, I'm gonna hurt you, but I won't hurt you. I won't hurt you.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's that.
I mean, it's not quite as schizophrenic as that, but it is
shot when he's like right face to the camera, and he's like talking about the lambs for Clarice. Really getting into her head, and.
But that's the thing. It's more like a. I don't know. Like you get the impression from the film that he would happily eat her. But he doesn't want to.
He seems that as wrong.
Yeah.
I think she says it at some point in the film, doesn't she?
Yeah.
He would see that as...
Like, he's come to...
As crude or something.
Admire her.
I can't remember what she says. Yeah.
But still thinks that he's better than her. But it's like, like the plucky little ant. I could crush you at any time I want. But you keep going, don't you? You just keep trying to climb that bathtub,
that's why I kind of didn't like the end of the song for
Yeah.
that reason. I was like,
It was too obvious.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah. It was very...
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that Venom are a band that struggle with subtlety.
No.
It's very much like Iron Maiden. It's the same problem. It's like, I don't think people are going to get this. So I need to make it obvious,
Yeah, I don't blame them. For
Killing Indians is wrong.
Go
Eating people is cool, it's...
Yeah. I don't blame them for trying to go after this film, because obviously it was massive at the time.
No, but like I said...
I totally give them credit, but the fact
I don't have a problem. They've got... They're the plucky upstart. Like I said, they've got good ideas. It's just, I don't execute them well. They see the niche of we'll be evil and that'll be our niche, but then it's just not done very well. And then it's like it's bludgeoning over the head. And then they do the whole, we're going to do an intro into our next album. Great idea, but then don't execute it very well. And then this one, we're going to cash in on the Silence of the Lambs film, and then they don't do it very. It's just they have great ideas, they just don't seem to pull them off.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I said before that I only heard of this song through doing research, says a lot, really, considering this is a song that came out a year after Silence of the Lambs came out, which you thought, I'd heard about, a song about Silence of the Lambs, surely, but no.
They're the Wile E. Coyote of heavy metal.
Wile E. Coyote's way more popular, mate.
Yeah, but, what I'm saying, good ideas, just bad execution.
Love Wile E. Coyote when I was a kid.
Who doesn't?
Awesome.
Fucking Roadrunner.
Yeah, so that's the last song. I like the song, as I said before, but
I like it, but I think they dropped the ball right at the end.
Yeah, I spared you from 92 onwards. Things get a lot more messy, unfortunately, with the band lineup and everything and that. There's people, they all leave at some point and they all come back. There's one point where Mantis and Abaddon are the only two in the band. Cronus comes back. They both leave because they can't stand him.
Mm-hmm.
And so what Venom basically is today is Cronus plus other people.
Right.
I forgot the. Oh, I've got it written down. So current lineup of Venom right now is Cronus, Stuart Dixon, or to give him his pseudonym, Stuart Rage Dixon. Getting a bit lazy with these pseudonyms here. Even more lazy is Danny Needham, or should I say Danny Dante Needham. We're even trying at this point, aren't we? With these pseudonyms. What are we doing? We need something more evil sounding than this.
I mean, I get Dante's Inferno, isn't it?
Kind of.
Yeah, I get that.
I get that. But there are now 2 Venoms.
Ooh,
There's Venom.
Plot twist.
And Venom Inc.
Okay. And does that have Abaddon and...
it did have Abaddon and Mantis, but now just has Mantis.
Okay.
Because Abaddon was thrown out for poor performance.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can't get it together at all.
Can I ask, Venom, the original, was there at any point a lineup of Venom that didn't have any of the original people in it?
No.
Okay, that's fine then. I'll let them off. It's not a I can't remember his name. Someone's ship. I can't remember the name. It's a philosophical question. It's let's just say Jason's ship from the Argonauts. If I have the Jason's ship and I replace it piece by piece because it keeps wood rots. So every time a plank rots, I replace it. Every time a nail breaks, I replace it. At one point, do I have an entirely new ship, or is it still Jason's ship? I can't remember the name of the philosophical... It's someone else's ship, but I can't remember his name right now. But that's the question. So, I also like to refer to it as the Sugar Babes question. Because at one point they replaced all of their members as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it still Sugar Babes if none of the original people are in it?
Yeah, if it's Sugar Babes in name, yeah. I mean, there are probably a few bands going at the moment which don't have any of the original members. I can't remember any off the top of my head other than Napalm Death. Sugar Babes, as you just mentioned, right? They had, at one point, none of the original members?
None of the original members at one point. And then I can't remember names, I apologise, so I'm just going to use descriptors. The black woman came back, didn't she? Yeah. But at one point they had no... Atomic Kitten, that's another one. I'm pretty sure at one point they had no original members as well. But then they broke up shortly after that. So.
I'll take your word for it. So this kind of draws an end to Series 1 or Season 1.
Ooh.
If you prefer your American.
That's news to me. I didn't know we were doing a series.
Metal Marmite.
Okay.
Kind of like the closing chapter to the first season.
Sort of. We're now going to take 9 months off.
Well, if you want, it's up to you. You're the one editing.
To be fair, they're released so far apart anyway.
Yeah, true. So with that being...
We need money to, I can fucking pay people, make it a proper job.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, carry on.
So with that being said, what would you say is your favourite band out of the ones we've listened to?
Judas Priest.
Judas Priest, okay, because you said Black Sabbath when I said Black Sabbath, Judas, and Iron Maiden.
Really?
You said Black Sabbath out of those 3 on me. But if you change your tune...
That's weird, because Judas Priest, hands down, man. Like, there was some great fucking
Judas
songs.
Priest is your favourite band out of
the ones that we've done so far, I would say Judas Priest easily, yeah. I mean, there was some fucking gems in there that I never knew existed. Cool. Turbo Lover is, one of my favourite songs now. It's fucking amazing.
Would you say that's your favourite song from the whole journey so far?
From what we've done so far, yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
Cool. So moving on to least favourite.
Ooh. I think Venom.
You think Venom?
I think Venom has gone... Because they started very poorly and never really recovered. There's a couple of little ones in there that I'm like, that was good. But even the good ones, they seem to ruin with, like fucking... Teacher's Pet was great. And then they went and did School Days. And it kind of now cheapens Teacher's Pet for me.
Yeah, totally.
You know, I don't think Venom ever really got out of the gate to be honest
So
with you.
Iron Maiden got usurped right at the end.
Right at the end, I think they got pipped at the post, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at least Iron Maiden had some that I was like, okay, I like this. You know, they started off at a point and I thought, okay, that's good. But then it just got too samey and it just bludgeoned you over the head eventually. But I don't think Venom ever really got out of the traps, you know. I think that they stumbled at the gate, you know. And they never really recovered, to be honest with you.
And the least favourite song at all? This one, or
It's got to be At War with Satan.
yeah, the whole 20 minutes. Yeah,
It's too fucking long, and that's the only song I've ever had to take a break, like, and walk away because I was getting so sick of it. And 45 minutes, you know, is a fucking long time to take away.
Yeah.
I mean, even at Iron Maiden's worst, I could still get through 8 or 10 minutes. You know, I couldn't handle it. It was too much. Yeah.
I'm probably with you, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm probably with you on that one. Just because it just took so long to get through. Yeah.
They.
Oh. Although, to be fair, just to bring it up, Changes. By Kelly
came
and
right in at the
Ozzy,
end there.
But I would.
Oh, good. I did call that an abortion of a song, didn't I? So
maybe give it a pass just because it was short. But that's the only pass I'd give it for.
Oh, dude, you came right in at the end there and fucked me up. Oh, that's tough.
Because Ozzy had a lot of songs you did like, but that was an absolute stinker.
Oh, yeah, but that's not a stinker because of him. It's a stinker because of. It's not really a stinker because of Kelly either. It's a stinker because I think for me it sucked bollocks because you've taken a song with such huge amounts of meaning to the person that wrote it. It's basically like, imagine like fucking Lil Wayne or someone like that came out with a fucking remix of You'll Never Walk Alone.
Interesting.
Imagine that. That is a song with such emotion behind it that not necessarily emotion that the writers of the song necessarily knew at the time, but has come to have. Whereas, and he just does it as a cash grab, you know, like, Barry, what the motherfucking murder, you know? No,
I'd like to see a metal band tackle. Yeah, Walk Alone.
I don't know, man. I think
it might work.
That song meant so much to the person that wrote it, and you can feel the cathartic need to get his emotions out onto the page. You can hear that in the song. I never knew what it was. The song was always a nice song. But then when you told me, I was like, I can totally hear that now. I could hear like I'm dying inside and I need to do something to get this out of me. And this is all I know how to do. And then someone's come along and said, hey, you're known for doing that song, right? Well, why don't we do that with your daughter to try and kickstart her career? And it's like, that's not something that you should do. Yeah. Some songs should just be left alone. And I think, actually, I've talked myself into saying that that's the worst song.
Even worse than 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because that was just long and annoying and outstayed its welcome.
Okay.
That one took something that meant so much to someone and said, fuck you. And you've talked me into it. Yeah,
I'd say it's probably those two, between those two.
Yeah, I think Changes actually. Yeah, that's my.
There you go. I bought something else.
The Kelly Osbourne version, not the Black Sabbath.
Not the Black Sabbath version, which we did cover, right?
We did cover the Black Sabbath one, and I really like that song. I liked it anyway, and now that I know the meaning behind it as well, and I can hear the story and the pain in it, it means a lot more to me. Yeah.
But... Okay.
Sorry.
So no.
Just completely changed my mind.
So what will we be doing in the future then if we're not covering early metal and new wave of British heavy metal or whatever?
So this is going to become a Backstreet Boys podcast.
Absolutely, yeah. No, we don't sell out. We're not selling out. We're doing just metal and extreme as you can get metal, and that's it. What's that? Sorry, this podcast is now the Taylor Swift Appreciation Podcast. Yeah, totally.
I can get behind
How much
that.
money?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
We will fucking sell out for anything.
absolutely. Give me your money.
We're total sellouts. We've got no morals.
No. So what we'll be covering now, well, eventually we'll be dipping into black metal.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be dipping into death metal. We'll be going back to the 80s and looking at the glam metal bands of the 80s at some point. We'll be covering everyone's favourite metal genre, new metal.
Hey man,
With
it
the
was
DJs.
it was massive at the
That's
time.
how I got into metal.
That's how I got into metal. I really never thought of it as metal at the time, but
covering that. We'll be going back at some point to look at maybe later on. We'll be looking at bands like from around the 70s, 80s. We didn't cover like Deep Purple, AC/DC, Van Halen, those kind of bands that are kind of like on the precipice of
the cusp.
rock and metal. Yeah, pretty much.
Which I would say Motorhead was. Yeah, I would say that they're in that category for me as well.
Yeah, I would argue they're a little bit heavier.
But
I get your point.
I would not. I'm pretty sure I said this during the Motorhead
Probably.
one, but I was like, I don't get how this song is heavy metal and also like fucking one of Black Sabbath's songs was heavy metal as well. I'm like, I don't get how because these don't sound anything alike.
Yeah, again, I get that completely. Maybe we might even go back and look at Pink Fairies and Tonto's Expanding Headband. A little bit of a nugget there for people who listen to episode 2.
Long-term listeners.
Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Go listen to that on Spotify,
wherever you listen to podcasts. Yeah.
Yep, so might even listen to those bands.
Okay.
Probably not.
I'll let my dad know.
But what we'll be doing next?
I don't know, Tom.
That's
You
the
tell
question.
me.
We'll be looking at. I think we've done Motorhead and we've done Venom, which is kind of leading us into a more extreme, heavy side of metal, namely thrash metal.
Okay.
So that's what we'll be doing next. And in our next show, we'll be covering the biggest heavy metal band of all time.
Ooh.
In our next episode.
Wow, I would have thought we'd already covered them, but okay. That's it.
No,
That's
we have not.
interesting for me.
We have not covered the biggest selling metal band yet. That's to come next.
Wow, colour me surprised.
You thought I made it well?
I figured for sure Iron Maiden would have been, yeah.
No.
Is it Spinal Tap?
It should be. But it ain't. But I'm sure all of you know who it is. We'll talk about it
I don't. I
on the
genuinely would have
next
said
show.
Iron Maiden if you'd asked me. But okay.
Okay, and that is a wrap for Series 1 of Metal Marmite. Hope you've all enjoyed listening to our thoughts and antidotes. Is that how you spell it? Of these metal bands. Anecdotes. Especially Richard's opinions about, hearing some of these songs for the first time or whatever else, I hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll be back soon with the next episode. So, Richard, thanks for having me.
Thank you for having you.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know how to reply to that when you say it first.
You got it. There you got it. You got it. Until then, rock on.
Enjoyed the show? Why not check out 742 Evergreen Terrace, the Simpsons podcast? This has been a Rich T Entertainment production. Thank you for listening.